Ever wondered what's the fastest thing man has ever invented? No, it's not a Ferrari, even though the Ferrari is pretty neat. But what's faster than a Ferrari? Stick with me, because in this video we're gonna see the 10 fastest things humans have ever created, from the less fast to the fastest. Well, giddy up and let's roll. At number 10 we have the Concorde. This supersonic passenger jet is a commercial airliner built for high-speed passenger travel. Yep, you heard me right. It allows humans to travel at immeasurable speeds. The Concorde was built by the British Aircraft Corporation and had its first flight back in 1969, but it only functioned between 1976 and 2003. It was made to reduce the flight time over the Atlantic Ocean. The Concorde's top speed was over Mach 2.04, which is approximately 2,179 kilometers per hour, or 1,354 miles per hour. This allowed it to fly from London to New York in just 2 hours and 52 minutes 59 seconds. Now that's insane, even for the 90s. However, the operation was grounded at the turn of the century after a crash killed all 109 people on board and 4 on the ground. The crash incredibly affected public confidence in the aircraft. Plus, it costs a fortune to continue making these, but hey, they pretty much did what they were built for, right? At number 9, the X-15 aircraft. The North American X-15 was a rocket-powered aircraft operated by the United States Air Force and NASA in the 1960s. Unlike conventional jets, the X-15 was powered by a liquid-fueled rocket engine. It was made for the study of incredible hypersonic flight, aerodynamics, and atmospheric exit and re-entry. The X-15's flights provided valuable data on hypersonic aerodynamics, heat resistance, and pilot control in the near vacuum of space. This aircraft reached a peak speed of 7,273 kilometers per hour, or roughly 4,520 miles per hour. While the X-15 held the record for the fastest crewed aircraft, the X-43 was an uncrewed scramjet-powered aircraft that set a new speed record for an air-breathing vehicle. Number 8 is the Space Shuttle. The Space Shuttle was part of NASA's 4th spaceflight program, officially known as the Space Transportation System. Its first launch was in 1981, for the purpose of deploying satellites, servicing the Hubble telescope, and building the ISS. While in orbit, the Space Shuttle traveled at approximately 28,000 kilometers per hour or 17,500 miles per hour. This craft brought in satellites both outside the Earth for operation and into Earth orbit for repair. It was truly a revolutionary, partially reusable space vehicle that operated from 1981 to 2011. The Space Shuttle program was responsible for some of humanity's greatest achievements in space travel. Over its 30-year lifespan and 135 missions, it helped us see the possibilities of flying beyond the Earth's boundaries, fast enough to steal the number 8 spot on our list. Now, the space station isn't necessarily a projectile or an aircraft. This is a continuously orbiting structure made to host an orbit research laboratory, a unique platform for scientific discovery, and a home for all astronauts and cosmonauts. This was a joint project by NASA, Roscosmos, ESA, ESA-JAXA, and the CSA. It was launched in the year 1998 and is still ongoing today, 27 years later. It was assembled in space by the International Coalition of Space Agencies. This bad boy provides a testbed for the technology necessary for future deep space exploration. It orbits at an incredible speed of 17,500 miles per hour, completing an orbit every 90 minutes and experiencing 16 sunrises and sunsets per day. The ISS is truly a remarkable craft and deserves the number 7 spot on our list. Number 6, the Apollo. The Apollo program was a series of missions hosted by NASA in the year 1961 aimed at landing humans on the moon. This program was driven and promoted by President Kennedy's commitment in 1961. Now, President John F. Kennedy set the goal in 1961 for the United States of America to get a pilot to the moon and return him to the Earth by the end of the decade, which was a pretty crazy challenge at the time, if you ask me. This was part of a critical and vital part of the Cold War-era space race, as the United States aimed to show its technological dominance over the Soviet Union. The Apollo was also recorded to possess the fastest return or re-entry speed among all spacecraft, reaching speeds of 39,000 kilometers per hour, or 24,000 miles per hour. This feat makes it good enough for a number 6 spot on our list. Number 5, the New Horizons. The New Horizons spacecraft is a NASA mission that launched on January 19, 2006. The mission was simple: conduct the first ever reconnaissance of Pluto and its moons. It was a task to explore what scientists call the third zone of our solar system, the distant icy Kuiper belt. The purpose of this robot was to have an up-close exploration and examination of the planet Pluto to find out more about the dwarf planet. This wonderful machine managed to complete an astounding feat as it passed Pluto at 52,000 miles per hour and is still researching other Kuiper belt objects. The New Horizon is a magnificent tool and deserves the spot at number 5 on our list. Number 4, Helios probes 1 and 2. This is a joint space exploration mission by NASA and Germany to study and examine the Sun and the interplanetary medium in the 1970s. It launched in 1974 and 1976 respectively. These two deep spacecrafts have traveled closer to the Sun than any spacecraft launched previously, launching as near as 43.4 million kilometers. The goal of these explorations were to make pioneering measurements of the interplanetary medium known as the Sun from the Earth. Both probes provided crucial data on the solar wind, magnetic fields, electric fields, and cosmic rays. They discovered new details about the complex and turbulent nature of the solar wind, helping scientists understand how it is created and accelerated. The Helios probes attained an unimaginable speed of 150,100 miles per hour. While the two probes were nearly identical in design, a few key differences in their operations and instrumentation made each mission unique. Number 3. The Juno. The Juno is an orbital probe created by NASA to study Jupiter in the early 2010s. It was launched in 2011 and made its arrival in 2016. As part of NASA's New Frontiers program, and built by Heed Martin, its objective was to study Jupiter's magnetic fields, composition, gravity, atmosphere, and weather to understand the formation of the planet. The Juno was the first spacecraft sent to the outer solar system to be solar-powered, as it possessed the largest solar panels ever on a planetary probe. The Juno aimed to determine the amount of water in Jupiter's deep atmosphere, whether Jupiter had a rocky core, and study its mass distribution. The Juno also mapped the planet's magnetic fields and gravity fields to understand its deep structure. This spacecraft orbits Jupiter in a polar orbit, allowing it to take close-up looks at the planet's poles and take a deep dive into its atmosphere. Juno's speed is recorded to be up to 165,000 miles per hour, claiming the number 3 spot on our list. Number 2. Solar Orbiter. The Solar Orbiter is a joint mission by the European Space Agency and NASA, having its first launch in the year 2020. This device possesses 6 remote sensing instruments that will provide novel imaging and observation of the Sun, its inner heliosphere, and its corona. It carries 10 instruments in total, with 6 to observe solar activity remotely and to measure the solar wind and particles. The Solar Orbiter uses innovative heat shielding and cooling technology to survive and function in close proximity to the Sun. The main objectives of the orbiter were to understand how the Sun controls and creates the heliosphere to explain the occurrence of solar activities, like solar flares and coronal mass ejections, to track change over time, to link solar transients to their consequences in the solar wind, and so much more. The Solar Orbiter achieved some incredible feats as well, like the incredible ability to view the Sun's poles, and in June 2025, the spacecraft presented the first ever images of the Sun's south pole, revealing tangled magnetic fields, indicating the Sun is at its top activity cycle. Now the solar probe moves at a top speed of 152,000 miles per hour. The solar probe has been, and is still making incredible discoveries to this day, and deserves the number 2 spot on our list. And finally, the number 1 spot, the Parker Solar Probe, for the fastest thing made by humans. Made as part of a NASA mission to revolutionize our understanding of the Sun, and built to provide up-close examination of the Sun, the solar probe's main objectives are to understand how the corona is heated. It also seeks to understand the mechanisms that accelerate the solar wind, measure the particles to determine their generation and propagation, and review the outer boundary of the corona. The probe possesses many instruments like solar wind projectors, alphas, and electrons, and is suited to measure magnetic particles and fields. This spacecraft is the first to fly into the low solar corona of the Sun, and has revealed that the outer boundary of the corona is wrinkly with spikes and valleys, containing plumes of solar materials called coronal streamers. The Parker Solar Probe, as the fastest human craft, moves at insane speeds of 430,000 miles per hour, taking up the top spot at our list. And that concludes our list for the top 10 fastest things humans have ever created. Now don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button to see more videos like this one. If you think this was cool, go ahead and click the next cool video that's appearing on your screen. Go ahead, click on it to see.